Hello everyone and welcome back to CWLbuilds. I'm Caleb and today we're going to make this super awesome magic staff. So I'm using this 1 1/4 inch wooden dowel and I cut it to about 4.5 feet and that seemed to work really well for me. I'm 5'9" and the 4.5 foot tall dowel seemed to work great. I'm tapering the bottom of the staff. This is the side that will touch the ground, and I'm tapering it so that it looks a little more natural and less like a manufactured wooden dowel. I wanted to make my staff look like it was hand carved, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking the side of the wooden dowel and I'm running it along my belt sander, and this gouges away some of the wood and makes it look a little less perfect. This stain really brings out those gouges and the natural carved look that I wanted, that I got from the belt sander. To make the vines that wrap around the crystal, I'm using 8mm craft foam, or EVA foam, and I'm cutting them into about 1/2 inch strips. I use my belt sander and round over the edges to make this look a little more vine-like. Now if you're not comfortable with using a belt sander this close to your hands, you can also use a rotary tool like a Dremel tool and that'll work just the same. Using some wire, I make hanging hooks that will go into the vines so that they can hang up and dry without touching anything else. The vines can now all be coated with black Plastidip and then a coat of satin nutmeg, and this will be the base brown coat that I'll black wash and then dry brush some darker brown on top of that. Now to start work on the most important part, which is the crystal, and for that I'll be using this pink installation foam, which you can get for about $5. Using my knife, I cut the foam into more reasonable sizes, and then I sand the edges that are going to be glued together. I'm putting weights on top to keep the foam pieces together while the glue is drying. I draw in the rough shape that I want, and then using a hacksaw I cut away all the extra pieces. Now we can start carving, and for this I use my extendable knife. I put a very sharp blade on and I kind of just go at it. The tips that I've learned are that you should cut with a sweeping movement of the blade and go slowly and steadily, and this takes a lot of practice. The foam wants to rip out, but if you go smooth and steady and you start on the end of the knife closest to your hand, and as you're sliding through move the knife to the tip, then you get a very nice smooth cut without any tear out. Using my heat gun, I lightly hit the outside of the crystal just to close up all the open cells. Now, as of now, the crystal is pretty soft and weak, so I'll be coating it in wood glue and painting that on, and this makes a plasticky shell over the crystal, over the foam, and that makes it easier to paint and also makes it easier to survive the basic wear and tear of walking around with this. I'll be making my crystal a turquoise teal sort of color, but you can make yours any color you want. The possibilities are endless. I use wood glue to attach the crystal because most other glues like hot glue or super glue would end up melting the foam and ruin the whole project. Using this natural twine, I cover up the gap and transition between the crystal and the wood. I forgot to do this before putting on the first vine, but I want to add this white highlight to the edges of the crystal, and this makes the crystal pop and have a little more depth. Now we can go back to adding the vines using super glue. I add a foam circle to the bottom of the staff to dampen the sound when it hits the ground. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I really liked how this turned out. I think it turned out really cool. And it was really fun to make. And so I ended up actually making two. So let's bring out the other one. You can check that one out. Here we go. And so there you go. Now I have two of them. And I think they're really cool, both of them. This one has a little less vine. This one has a little more vine. The crystal's bigger on this one, smaller on this one. It's really up to you about what you want to do. So I made two, just for fun. They're really easy to make. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them down in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a like and consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you in the next video.